Mario Odyssey. It's the new 3D Mario game taking after Sunshine and 64, and with some Galaxy thrown in there as well. But how is it as a game? So first of all, this review is spoiler free. However, I do show mostly what was already revealed in trailers and the such. As far as I know, you should not consider these spoilers. However, you've just been warned, so don't complain about it in the comments. Mario Odyssey, the new 3D Mario game that brings the open world gameplay of 64 and Sunshine right back to HD, and better than ever. All of the kingdoms in this game have so many places to explore and things to collect and enemies to capture. It's amazing. Every corner of every kingdom has so much detail poured into it, and there's so many secrets to be found and a whole ton of collectibles. And each kingdom feels unique. Every part of the game feels as if the developers were making a separate game for each kingdom, and they all mesh together for just an amazing experience. And Mario's got some moves this time too. In the beginning of the game you get Cappy, which is a ghost that basically turns into your hat, so you can throw him to capture enemies, or if you hold Y, you can jump onto him. You can also air dash in this game, and air dashing in combination with throwing the hat gives you some great horizontal distance. And air dashing in general is pretty great. The boost you get from it feels good, and in combination with the motion controls, you can do some sick hat tricks. There's so many other options for movement. You can long jump, which is a long jump. What did you expect? A short jump or something? No, it's a long jump. And again, you can throw at Cappy, then long jump onto him, and essentially double your long jump. And there's vehicles in this game, like tanks or whatever, and also in the Metro Kingdom, there's Shadow the Hedgehog. And with Cappy, you also get the ability to possess or capture your enemies, which essentially grants Mario their powers and abilities. Most of the time this is used for puzzles, but when it is used, it's pretty great. Just experimenting with the different enemies is fun in itself. And after you beat a kingdom, you get access to one Flappy Boy, which lets you glide around kingdoms to get places faster or just see the sights. And each capture target is really fun to use in combat, especially things like the tank or even a bullet bill, and especially the T-Rex. Each capture target feels fun and unique, and they are all really great to use. Also, Cappy is a spooky ghost. Just thought I'd throw that in here. It is Halloween after all. And the game is going back to the roots that have been set in Mario 64 and Sunshine. All of the levels are fully open, and you're free to explore at your own pace. You can collect any moon at any time, and it never feels boring either. And there are so many moons to collect, over 800 in fact, and each and every one requires you to solve a puzzle or get to a location or generally just do something that makes you feel like you earned it. But anyways, how's about we move on to the review, eh? First of all, this game is mind-blowingly beautiful. I had screenshots from this game as my wallpaper almost immediately after it came out. Everything has so much detail poured into it, and the art style is still always colorful and vibrant. Never once did I look at a texture on a wall or something and think it looked low res like I did in Breath of the Wild. And never once did I look around me and think that this game wasn't the prettiest Mario game I've ever dang saw. And the difficulty of the game is fair and balanced. All of the bosses have patterns that are easy to catch on to, but they never feel afraid to mix it up. The only time the game is ever difficult to the point where you're gonna die a lot is when it's intended difficulty, like either in the final areas of the game, or just some moons that are behind a wall of challenge, or just, a secret that is hard to find. It all feels fair and ramps up only when it's needed. Now the controls, and here's where my opinions might get a little controversial. You see, the game uses motion controls for things like capture abilities or using Cappy, and they are not optional. A lot of people found this very annoying, but however, I love the motion controls, even in handheld. I believe they add depth to the already deep movement of Mario, and the extra layer of satisfaction they give you on top just adds to the already great movement. I do think that they should be optional, but they don't bother me at all. And the soundtrack here is absolutely stellar. Each orchestrated piece feels like it belongs in the exact situation it's in. And before release, I thought this would just be another Breath of the Wild situation, where the themes are more background noise and just musics that are just for aesthetic, but rather than things you listen to on their own. But I got proved wrong. Each piece is just great, and heck, I even listened to the soundtrack while writing the script. It's a great OST. And while the story is nothing special, it certainly wasn't bad by any means. It was enough to make me want to always keep going. Everything is explained as much as it needs to, and the story never gets in the way of gameplay. It's all great. Now, before I move on to the scoring of the game, I wanted to talk about how I score games. Also, I wanted to mention, I just got my braces off today. I do not have good word right now, so please excuse that. I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but you know, whatever. I'm not re-recording this whole video for that. Every time I score a game, it's like a scale. All of the positives and negatives on different sides. And with how bad the negative is versus how good the positive is, and vice versa, weighing more on its respective side. And with this system, an even weight of positives would be a 5 out of 10. Above that, and that means that it's weighed in the favor of positives. And below that would be in the favor of negatives. However, a 10 out of 10 is when there is only weight on the positive side, meaning that there is not a single negative. That's why no game on my channel has received a 10 out of 10 yet. However, with Super Mario Odyssey, I felt that it deserves the rating it's getting, and that rating is a 10 out of 10. I had no problems with the game. Nintendo managed to make a game that made me so inclined to say that there's not a single thing wrong with it. A game that brought back elements from Mario games that I loved in my earlier years, and a game that made me feel so happy at the end I was literally tearing up. Tears of joy, that is. I feel the game absolutely deserves a perfect rating. It never once felt like anything needed to be changed on my part. Again, while the motion controls seem to really bother other people, I absolutely adore the depth they add to the game and its movement. So what else is there to say then? Well, let's do the Odyssey. Here we go, off the rails. Don't you know it's time to raise our sails? It's freedom like you never knew. Don't need bags or a pass. Say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my hat is off to you. Oh, we can zoom all the way to the moon from this great wide wacky world. Jump with me, grab coins with me, oh yeah. It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared. Just jump up and your cares will soar away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl, don't fear, don't shed a tear, 'cause I'll be your one-up girl. So let's all jump up super high, high up in the sky. There's no power up like dancing. Jump on it, you're the superstar. No one else can take me this far. I'm flipping the switch. Get ready for this, so let's do the Odyssey.